Okay, hello everyone. I've got to trust in the process this is recording, so I don't like to minimise. Trying to see if I can help it. But yes, welcome. This is Caledonia Works very fine. Flying Scotsman. Well, A3. See if it'll actually give me a Flying Scotsman headboard or not. Yeah, not really that one. Centenary. There we are. Scar Reply. There we go. As indeed we are here at King's Cross Terminus. This is the BR Era 1. I'm not sure if we're going to see any AI traffic or not, but this suits me for the purposes of what we're doing. We've got double tender 4472, at least is Era correct, with the Armstrong Powerhouse Mark 1s in tow. This is one of the standard setups that you can get, the consists you can get. So it's going to put the loco in forward gear. So anyway, now the engine is sort of more background to what I have to talk about. So there was a video already filmed and about to be uploaded to YouTube earlier. Then I decided to have a play with Engage while I was chatting to Gary, and yeah, just continually lets itself down, and every loco I tried was an abject failure, which is a real shame. They all let me down in one way or another, from the Class 24 to the Class 17, 31, Pannier, Ivot 2MT, none of them wanted to know. So, in the great debate versus TT versus 00, the video went, it looks like Engage has won. No. It's interesting, we've got a red signal ahead. Let's go in and quickly check. There is nothing coming through the tunnel. No, we seem to be clear, okay. So let's get Flying Scotsman underway here. I wanted one in an NER livery, you see, but with the Mark 1's been the only coaches available for the contest. We got green to see as well. So yes, that was how the video was going to start, and you know, I thought I'll start playing. Yeah, things don't exactly go to plan on that one because of the aforementioned foul-ups. So, what to do? Well, I looked at TT120, and why wasn't I going to go with TT120 before? Well, I'll explain. Basically, the lack of front coupling and no J50 till November time is an awful big weight for something that does have a front coupling, and that can actually pull freight trains believably. And I'm just not prepared to wait for that in a minute. You know, it's just not going to happen. And also the variety is not going to be there. Even when the J50 does come out, it's still a very lackluster sort of selection. With 00 absolutely dominates there. And that's because, you know, it's been around since forever, isn't it? Or basically at this point. And it's kind of an unfair statement, some might argue. But I counter that by saying when I'm making a decision as to what I'm going to model, unfair or otherwise, it's got to be taken into account. So yeah, you know, that's where we are with that one. And that's ultimately why Double O has to work, because Engage has let me down too much. I am so utterly done with that scale. If anyone here is an Engager, hat off to you, and I'm so glad. I just don't get how I can be so unlucky with it. Especially when reliable engines like the Class 24 suddenly start going, yeah, not gonna. So yeah, you know, the Double O was pushing its space limits basically, because I need to get that bigger point in, so any engine can go into the yard. So whatever I'm running, it can go and shunt. I'm using highly unprototypical engines for this, but that point, that small point, is a very unprototypical point at the same time. So you know, it's, yeah, it is what it is on that one. So back to AnyRail, and in AnyRail I'd had a play this morning. That's what initially showed me I didn't have the space. AnyRail I've now made a layout that does work with the bigger points in. It's got a two-siding yard. I've got the same space here for wagons on near me here that I have currently. It means a little extension, but that's doable, easily doable within the space. This board's got to be able to move, by the way. That's why I can't. In theory, I've got more space. Then would have really comfortably fitted in a slightly bigger layout again. But this has to move when the windows get replaced in a minute, so yeah. And the great thing is all the track can be reused. I can just extend it or whatever, can't I, at that point? So yeah. Anyway, did this design. It's actually got a bigger station area than the current setup does, which gives me a 2-coach train in 3 if you count one of those little 6-wheelers on the Great Western side of things. Not sure with the Thompsons because they're like enormous in length, but I should be able to get something decent in still, and or having, you know, freight trains especially, get something believable in. And I'm going to be using A4s, A3s, a peppercorn A22, A23s as I get hold of things, as I acquire, add to the collection. And that is really is the main goal. There is, you know, build this collection so when I get the bigger space available to me, I can do a really super layout, and that's when Engage is going to return, because Engage will return in the Japanese 1/150th scale Engage. It allows me to. I love that I'm actually going slow when I do on the Severn Valley. Come on, Scotsman, you can do better than this. Yes, that's when it will return when I get that big space, because I'll be able to have the room for both in there. And well, hopefully I'm going to push for a mainline scene with the Double O, so we'll actually see these big express engines doing their job, thundering past. Now, an issue that appears in both TT120 and in Double O on Alinea Pacifics that aren't from Bachmann, well, more modern ones from Bachmann, is the lack of a front coupling. Now, easily sorted in Double O because I'm using tension locks. And you saw that by putting a little bit of wire behind the bumpers. That will do the job. It'll enable me to pull a train to make sure any stock it couples to has got a hook. So easy enough, job done. Hornby, I really do ask that you start putting these on. There are more and more people doing heritage railways, for example, that need them, and or, you know, if you don't want them, Akuroscale did it really greatly. They had a nice piece that was already fitted. You pop that off, literally pop it off, and then you put the NEM socket in, and then put with your coupler already in there. Job done. So if you don't want it, you've got the realistic view. if you do want it, there is that, and that is a perfectly valid thing to do. And the money that I've seen brand new A3s and that going for direct from Horby, I feel that's equivalent to the Kurosaki Manor in price, and they can work that into that somehow. We can do without things such as sprung buffers, maybe, you know, or a flickering firebox, if it meant the cost could be moved to adding some sort of front coupling mechanism in there. Just a thought. But anyway, I digress, it can be sorted out, like I say. So that's better. Actually starting to get some speed up now. The regulator on this works really weirdly. I'm not quite sure how the steam chest simulation is done on it, but yeah. But yeah, so basically that's largely it. I've selected quite a long run, I think 24 miles. So we'll probably, I'll find my way and finish the run, who knows. But yeah, it's a long short of it. So you know, it's all possible to do in this space in Double O. I'm super happy because I was really resentful of having to go to Engage. One, because TT should have slotted in perfectly then gone, hey, need more room? I'm your guy. But it wasn't there. It's the absent gauge, even though it's there. Again, no offence to anyone doing TT, you know, thumbs up to you, power to you, you love it, you do it, man. And I use man in a really stupidly in a genderless sort of meaning. But yeah, you enjoy it. The folks that do it, you enjoy it. But the operation I worked out, because of the lack of front couplings, I'd either have to have one engine pull in, run round, come off scene, I turn it round, goes back on, and then pull off again. Or have two locos, and one takes from the other, takes the train out, then the other one backs away and gets turned round still and comes back. It would get very dull very quickly, and obviously nothing really available to pull a freight train till... Was that the BBC radio tower thing? I'm sure it's not Portillo or something. But yes, it's... There we are, that'll do for our screenshot. For the thumbnail. So you've already seen that. Yeah, you know, it would get very dull. I say there is an engine that's come to mind which would be perfect for TT120, and that is the 8F, the Stanier 8F. Why was it perfect? Well, the LNER had some as the Class 06, obviously the LMS used them, British Railways used all of them that they could get their hands on. During the war, they worked on the Southern and the Great Western as well. In fact, they were built at Swindon Works during the war, which is how GWR gets the 8F boiler, which is ends up on the county class locomotive. The Hawksworth County 460 boiler is an 8F boiler. So, you know, it's an engine that works on all regions. Okay, it's specifically wartime on the Great Western and the Southern, in the Era 3 category, but you know, it that whistle sounds wrong as well. I think they did record it off the real one, but it has had its whistle fixed since then. Shouldn't be so squeaky. There's also some sort of factory behind us there. So yes, you know, it's one of those. It's the, because you know that it's a good engine for all. there, and into the British Railway period, of course, on nearly every region going. I think even the Western region. Don't quote me on that one. I don't know if they did return to the Western region. I know the 9Fs are super popular on there. There is a 9F in the pipeline, isn't there, on TT? But yeah, I mean the lineup in N-Gage wasn't much better. It's the only non-Grizzly, and I say Grizzly is CME signing off with these designers rather than designing all these engines. The only non-Grizzly one is the Riddles. Is Gen 94. Yeah, which I stupidly ordered because I thought, yes, come on, got to set facts, go into it, you know. Again, jumping before I should have done. And I've already contacted Rails to say, look, please can you cancel that? I'm going to be ringing them in the morning as well, just to make sure that's all sorted out before it gets dispatched or anything. And I will be putting my order in for track from Rainbow Railways for my Trix C-Track. Now I've got it all worked out. It takes 3 to 4 weeks for that to get here, so we'll be operating on the current track plan for a while. But yes, you can enjoy that variety of engines, because obviously in 00, if you can get hold of one, there's hopefully do another run of them. There's the Sonic A5s. There's Thompson L1s, there's Great Eastern locos, J15, N7, D16, B12. The North Eastern Railway, you've got the J27, the Q6. There's the Great Northern Atlantics, N2, J52 coming from Rapido. There's the J69 for the Great Eastern stable coming from Mercurusco. There's the J15 from Hornby again there. And if you're a cheeky sod like me, you got the Peppercorn Pacifics. A2s, a couple of them did appear in Apple Green, at least one of them appeared in Apple Green. AH Peppercorn, I believe. And I'm going to be cheeky with an A1. I'm going to get the Tornado model in Apple Green and rename it, remove the front smoke box number plate, and rename it to 156, losing the 60,000 of course to go back to its LNER number. 156 Great Central in Apple Green. Bit of a bending of history, but that way I don't miss out on any of the LNER Pacifics or any of the LNER locos. Same thing with one of the Peppercorn A1s, Thompson Peppercorn A1s that were BR really only. One has appeared in preservation in LNER livery. But that's a bit more in the pipeline. I'm not so fussed about Access K3s to look at, so, you know. Yeah. So I look forward to doing this. I do look forward to enjoying an LNER railway. And, yeah. Because I worked out why I don't want to do the Great Western at the minute. Nothing wrong with the Great Western. But coming from the background of doing Japan most recently, where you've got a standard section of steam engines across the country to run the entire country's railways. It's only a few classes. There's a big family likeness. Great Western, exactly the same, basically. Whereas with the LMS, the Southern and the LNER, you've got those differences. The LMS still has a bit of bad what's it for me. With a previous acquaintance, I did start to make my own because they were determined you could only do it in British Railways area anyway, any layout. But I think I've alluded in another video, I was a long time LNER fan anyway. So here we are, starting the layout, which is Woodgate. I hope you come along for the ride with me and enjoy. And I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.